Hey there, and welcome to the first devlog for Hypercastle Explorers. I'm Matto, and in this video, we're going to give an update on where we're at as we're getting started with the project and talk a little bit about where we plan to go. So, first of all, welcome to the project. Thank you so much to everybody who has supported us thus far, the people in the Terraforms community, and everybody who chose to mint an NFT from the project. We are super appreciative. It's really, really cool. And for those of you who are just joining sort of out of nowhere and don't know anything about what I'm talking about, the basic kind of short version of what this is that we are building what we're calling an SDK, a software development kit for game developers to build experiences or game and or, VR, AR, XR, Unity developers, people who use the Unity game engine, to build on top of the Terraforms by Mathcastles NFT collection. Terraforms by Mathcastles is a generative land art project that is extremely on-chain, built on the Ethereum blockchain, and kind of manifests for now as a set of 11,000 ASCII art animated artworks. But they also correspond to this kind of invisible 3D hyperstructure, or the Hypercastle, as we like to call it. That's where the name from our project comes from. And what we are trying to do is to create another visualization of that structure, and one that's interactive and that's explorable in a video game style experience. What we're building is not a video game itself. It's a tool for people to build video games with. Would we potentially like in the future to maybe make something that is more game-like using the technology that we're building now? Very much yes, right? Are we committing to doing that? Not yet. What we've committed to do is to build this SDK, which is this kind of base layer toolkit for anybody who wants to work with the Terraforms data in the Unity game engine to create experiences. We're building that, and we're going to open source it, and our goal is to have that into people's hands in version 1.0 release around July. That's kind of where we are in the planning right now. As a creator and a developer, my head is kind of spinning at the possibilities of what we can do in this space. This is our first kind of project of this size, and the fact that we can go out to a community of people and come together to kind of get a project like this off the ground with no venture capitalists, no intermediaries, or no platforms in between is really mind-blowing and amazing, and it's one of the things that I hope that this project can demonstrate for people both in the space and outside the space, that, hey, this is a use for this kind of Web3 ecosystem, that if you have a project that you want to create and you want to get a group of like-minded people together to make it happen, this is something that we can do here, right? So one of the things that I want to do with these videos is to document that side of things, obviously to give updates to the community who's following along and how our progress is with the development, and to kind of share updates on that, but also just to kind of talk about the big picture and what this all means, and to share some of my thinking about the space and where we are and what's possible. Where we are now, we just launched the pre-sale and then the public mint for the project. The project is, I think, 90-something% minted out. If you're watching this around release time and you still want to mint a token, you can. We are now moving on to the phase of planning the development process. Now, we did have a kind of a skeleton of a plan in the proposal document that we shared with everybody on Discord, but now we're starting to get a little bit more concrete and granular. It's good, I should get this out today, not tomorrow on April 1st, so that people don't think it's a joke. Today's March 31st when I'm recording this. And so we're planning roughly a kind of a 3-month development cycle to get the things that were listed in our document done and released onto a GitHub repository for anybody to download and interact with and build on top of. Over the past couple of days, we've been recovering a little bit from launching the mint. That was a pretty exciting and busy process. And so there's some just kind of catching up on sleep that we all had to do. But now we've been sitting down yesterday and the day before and starting to really put some spreadsheets together and plan out, okay, who exactly from our team is on this, and what's the timeline and so on, and all that stuff. And now we're basically actually getting started with development. We're about to put up a public repo, which will be basically empty, but just getting that out there for the folks who want to start following. The basic first goal that we have is to reconstruct the existing Terraforms artwork in the game engine, right? So right now the Terraforms take the data from the Ethereum contract and render an SVG file that mostly people are viewing on OpenSea, but can obviously be viewed on any NFT marketplace or any website. And I think our first goal is just going to be to re-render that in a kind of a one-to-one version in the game engine, right? And there's going to be a bunch of work that's going to go into that, because we're going to need to figure out how we want to pull and structure the data, how we want to relate to external sources of data. This is something we've been discussing, right? We do want to have a kind of a live access to the EVM, right, to the Ethereum virtual machine, but we also probably, and we're not sure about this, but we may end up simulating the contract internally in Unity and just reaching out to the chain for things like block time and the different blockchain-based inputs that the Terraforms work takes in order to make it so that the application that we're building can run in a kind of a sandboxed mode without constantly having to pull the chain. So those are kind of some of the decisions that we're making now, is just how is the kind of infrastructure and the code architecture of this going to look. And we're just discussing that, just kind of sitting down and going over the contract and figuring that stuff out. And as we make some decisions, we'll obviously share those with the community to get some kind of like thumbs up, thumbs down, that sounds sensible or not. Luckily, we've got some great builders in the community already who've already been working with the data and the contract. So I expect we should be getting some really good advice and input from them as well. And obviously, we want to do this in the most kind of open and collaborative way that we can. So that's sort of where we are right now, right? Some folks have been coming in the Discord and asking about the future and are we going to make a game and what comes after building the SDK? And the answer to that is really it depends on you. We want to see some folks from the community joining us, using what we're building, getting involved. And that is really going to have a big impact on what happens next, right? We have a kind of commitment that we've made that we're going to deliver this SDK with the features that are in the proposal. But that is a kind of that's not a game, right? That is really more like a visualization and more like a kind of a base layer that games could be built on top of. Obviously, building games is a big project, so that's something that we wouldn't undertake casually. But we're kind of definitely interested and excited to do if there's momentum and excitement and potential to do that and take it further. So we're definitely kind of watching and listening to see what happens and if folks get involved. And that will definitely have a big impact on where we go next after we've kind of delivered the plan that we've already committed to. So please join us in the Discord. That is really where the main action is happening, and we're keeping that up to date and updating that daily. This YouTube channel, the Matto YouTube channel, you can subscribe to. It's not going to be updated super frequently, but these updates I'll post there. So if you want to be regularly notified about these devlogs, do subscribe. Drop a like on the video and a comment for the algorithm so that other people can discover it. And just really excited to kind of embark on this journey with you, and let's see what happens. All right. Thanks for watching.